I still remember the scorching summer sun of that year, holding on to the first stirrings of love. I remember the excited hugs and the kisses that only ever landed on my cheeks. The affection then was so profound, so pure, yet deep down, a vague, unnamed sorrow always lingered. Perhaps that's why people call first love an unfinished story. Those initial feelings are often intertwined with innocence, awkwardness, and regret for not knowing how to love completely. Memories of those months, of those first heartbeats, are like a gentle breeze passing by, carrying the sweet scent of days left unfinished, imperfect yet breathtakingly beautiful. Everything was as fresh and pure as a hastily painted picture bathed in sunlight. As years pass, those incomplete moments gradually become bittersweet fragments of memory, leaving our hearts restless and yearning. Today, let's gather once more to listen to the letters carrying our deepest sentiments, addressed to our first loves. Our first letter today comes from Blossom. Dearest Bun, the day I heard you say those two words, let's stop, I knew I had to accept that we truly no longer belong together. I blame myself for being foolish enough to once think we would have a love story as beautiful as a movie. But people say it's true, first love is indeed an unfinished one. We didn't know how to love correctly, so we kept making mistakes, only to lose each other in the end. If you and I had met later, would we have had a dreamlike story? If we had cherished each other more, waited until we were grown up and mature enough to love, would we be strolling the streets together like other couples now? I know before we broke up, you told me to forget this relationship, no matter what, and find someone better than you. But do you know, since you left, I haven't been able to piece those fragments back together. I no longer have the courage to give this chance to anyone else. I just keep waiting for you, Bun. I hope you find the happiness of your life. I hope you achieve your academic goals and become truly successful in the future. I hope your passion for basketball also helps you achieve your dreams and aspirations. I hope, and I keep hoping. I hope you achieve everything so you can come back to me. No matter what, even though I know I should learn to let go and find someone new, please, be the one to run and hug me until the very end, because I love you so much. The next letter is from someone who writes, I coincidentally met you on a late autumn day, in that cool, crisp weather that always makes people reflective. You were a small, adorable girl who always knew how to make others happy. You also loved making handmade items and were very good at drawing. You were excellent in school, but always humble. These things made me cherish and love you even more. We sent each other countless messages. When we realized, the clock had already struck 2 or 3 in the morning. The more we got to know each other, the more compatible we found ourselves, and then we became a couple. The time that followed, you and I welcomed the winter's chill together, so warmly. Opening my eyes, I'd already see a good morning message from you and wishes for a good day. We made so many memories that even now, they feel like they just happened yesterday. But perhaps your heart harbored negative emotions that you couldn't express. You had a thick wall around your heart that even I couldn't find the key to unlock. Those negative feelings kept spreading. In those moments, I was utterly confused and didn't know what to do. Perhaps it was also partly because I was still too childish, unable to think maturely, and at times I made you sad, leading to us breaking up over trivial matters. My tears just kept falling, but I didn't know how to stop. My mind was completely filled with your image and our memories. After the breakup, I often thought about messaging you to get back together, but I never had enough courage. Nevertheless, I still want to send my thanks to you. You were a beautiful part of my high school youth. You were also a huge source of motivation that helped me strive every day to become better. I hope you always take good care of your health, and I hope one day we can meet again. The third letter is from Dan. I had a friend who was once my soulmate. The first time I met you, I remember your face so clearly, a carefree, innocent, bright boy. You gave me a very strange feeling. At that time, I was naive and didn't know what love was. We had an 8-year friendship, and during that time, I realized I had feelings for you beyond friendship, something I believe people call love. Every time I saw you, I was so happy and became as hyperactive as a monkey, even though normally I barely interact with others. Perhaps on our journey, I had considered you family from the very first time, seeing you as more than a friend. Sometimes I would get angry with you for no reason and make you appease me, even though that's not what two boys would typically do. But to me, you were so important that I put all my heart and trust in you, so important that I would lean on you when I was weak and let you see my emotional wounds. Was it because I wanted you to heal me, wanted you to come and protect me, that I made you uncomfortable? Was it because I showed my feelings too clearly, making everyone notice my affection for you, that you hated me? Whenever I heard someone link us together, my heart would blossom like a garden. But you, at that time, felt uncomfortable and wanted to deny it, so you really hated it. My feelings back then, every day I was attacked by negative thoughts, and you would be the motivation to dispel them all. Yet, there were times when your actions were like negative arrows piercing my heart. Do you know what I would do then? I would keep it hidden deep inside. Sometimes that pile of negativity would surface, making my emotions chaotic and causing me to do things that weren't fair to you. I'm sorry. Our story went so far that everything completely fell apart. You and I are nothing to each other anymore. My pride prevents me from being the one to bow my head first, so I waited for you to apologize every day, every hour. Now, I truly realize it's too late to hold onto this relationship. You and I have nothing left. Perhaps for you, it wasn't really that important, or at least I think so. But for me, even when we are no longer anything, I still keep the most beautiful image of the person I once loved in my heart. Perhaps in a few years, you won't even remember who I am anymore, but I will always remember you, the person who taught me what love is, my first love. The next letter is from Ananas. When I remember, or even when I'm writing these words, my heart sinks and my mind is a mess. It seems I still can't escape his overwhelming shadow, but there's nothing I can do to change the reality that we've ended. He and I met when we were both still awkward and silly, coincidentally in the same class, then we became close and fell in love. But our naive first love only lasted 5 months before ending, because we were both too childish. Yet I don't know why, after that breakup, we kept getting back together and then drifting apart again, over and over. I was his first love, the one who taught him how to love, but perhaps my way of loving wasn't right, which is why he got drawn into things I couldn't accept, even betraying me repeatedly. I know he still cares for me, still shows me a gentleness he never had for anyone else, but love alone isn't enough because the person I fell for back then has changed. I'm just regretting the past relationship, which is why I'm enduring this pain and lingering. I still remember the taste of the 50,000 dong meal we once shared. I still remember us happily riding in the rain on his wave bike. I still remember every promise made while holding hands. I remember all those memories, and I remember him, but not the him of today. Perhaps later, on cold winter days, he will sit beside the girl he loves, whispering to her about the dreams, the silly wishes he once held tight in his heart during his youth. The person sitting behind him on his bike won't be me anymore. The one holding his hand through pressures, through uncertain moments, won't be me either. Someone else will be there beside him, overcoming cold winters with him until the very end of his life. I just want to send him a thank you and an apology. Thank you for loving me, for going through the most beautiful days of our youth with me, and I'm sorry for not being able to be by his side until the end, as I once promised. Whenever I look back, my mind still wanders into a rain of memories, into blurred recollections like streetlights in the late night. Everything has passed, but the feelings remain intact. It's just that now, I choose to tuck everything into the deepest corner of my heart, so as not to disturb his current life anymore. No matter what, I still wish him peace and happiness, no matter who he's with, no matter where he is. As long as he lives a full life without regrets, that's enough. Thank you for listening and loving me. And the last letter is from Muni. Are you listening to this radio episode? They say waiting for someone is perhaps the foolish thing to do, but if it's for you, I'm still willing to wait, even if it takes a little longer. Because for me, you are worthy of everything I've ever longed for. In the past, waiting for you became my habit. I used to sit and wait for your messages for so long, back in the days when we were still just friends. I'm naturally impatient, yet I was willing to wait for you for a very long time. From those moments, I realized this was love, something I had always yearned for and never thought we could become like this. Gradually, messaging you became an indispensable habit. Without you, my heart felt empty and longing. I tried to maintain our relationship with all the small strength of a girl who had never known what love was. But when exhaustion overwhelmed me, I gently let go of your hand. I asked if we could stop. I thought perhaps I wasn't suited for dating, that being friends would be better for both of us. As you always said, being friends would be better. I once thought forgetting someone wasn't that hard. Those romantic movies were just exaggerating. But only after experiencing it did I realize I couldn't forget your eyes. I couldn't hide my longing, regret, and lingering feelings. Even you noticed it, didn't you? That's when I truly understood how much I liked you. Our conversation was extended a little thanks to you. After almost a month of silence, not a single message, not a single greeting. How awkward it was, but I didn't want to stop. I still wanted to continue, even if it was just a few bland messages from us both. Perhaps that unnamed longing, which hadn't been expressed for so long, drew us closer again, so we could finally say everything on our hearts. To be honest, I felt a slight sting in my eyes when I heard you say, "I miss you very much," but I didn't dare to say it. And so we were back to how we were before. But this time was different. I became the one who was loved, cared for, cherished by you. As a girl experiencing love for the first time, the feeling was both strange and sweet. I never expected that a hot-headed, crybaby child like me would catch someone's eye. Throughout those school days, this was my first love. I cherished and protected this love because it was the first time I knew what it felt like to love and be loved. I once feared it was just a fleeting dream that would end like before, leaving only longing and pain. But you brought me a sense of security in this love. And oh, how happy I was. Do you know? Fluttering, stirring emotions. Those words are too common for this feeling, gentle yet incredibly memorable. My heart is throbbing. Do you know? You came and warmed me. Whether it was a scorching summer day or a freezing winter day, you were always the warm flame beside me. I will forever remember this love. Remember it and see it as a brilliant part of my youth. If someone asks who my first love was, I will confidently answer that he was a volleyball player in 8th grade. Energetic, funny, yet profound, with his own hidden sorrows but always striving to smile. He was the one who liked me and brought me joy during the sweltering summer days of my school years. He was the brilliant sunshine, the sunflower I lovingly cared for. Hey, my sunflower, I truly love you. I hope you will always protect and walk alongside me for a very, very long time. Yes, perhaps in this lifetime, we will never forget the memories of when we first knew what love was, what it felt like to love. Those were the days when we weren't mature enough to fully understand the meaning of the words, love and affection. Yet we were ready to give away the most innocent emotions our hearts could feel. Even if it may not compare to many relationships we experience later, it will always exist in our minds, however vague it may become. As humans, how can we truly forget those first times? The first stirrings, the first heartbeats, the first time we knew what it meant to miss someone so much we couldn't eat or sleep. That feeling was deeper and stronger than what we would become later. We may grow up and change, learn to love more rationally, become more cautious and self-preserving, but we can never find that feeling of loving someone with all the innocence, trust, and sincerity we had back then. So let's keep those purest things, like a precious raw gem, to remind us that we once were someone who could love with all our heart, unconditionally. And if you still believe, truly believe, that the unfinished love story of that year could one day be continued, could transform into a complete destiny, then continue to hold on to that belief. Who knows, amidst the myriad paths of life, you and that person might find each other once more. When that day comes, I hope you can give them a tight hug, a deep kiss, as proof that time can change everything. But one thing remains intact: the sincere feelings from that very first love. See it as a complete ending for a youth that was once unfinished, but a way to tell yourself that we loved the right person, just not at the right time. But if two hearts still yearn for each other, they will surely find their way back.